Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Ash K. Holm. Today's look that I'll be creating is a model off-duty makeup vibe, so basically a supermodel snatch. I'm gonna show you how to lift the face using bronzer, and I'm so excited about this product placement, and also technique that I'm gonna be sharing with you. So here are a few celebrities that I've done this makeup look on many times. It's definitely a look that makes you feel like your best self and brings out your features naturally. So without further ado, let's get into these details. One thing I never forget to do before I start my makeup routine or one of my celebrity clients' makeup looks that I'm doing is hydrate the lips. That is so important. I love to moisturize the lips and just let it seep in while I'm doing the rest of the makeup. So by the time you get to lip application, it's nice and prepped. To prep my lips, I'm gonna be using this product by M Cosmetics. It is their lip cushion and clear quartz. This one contains hyaluronic acid and vitamin C, so it really helps to lock in moisture. To prep the skin, I'm gonna be keeping it really simple. I'm just gonna be using this Elemis Superfood facial oil. A lot of the makeup products that I'm gonna be using today for this tutorial are very hydrating and work really well for sensitive skin and all skin types. So I really don't need to do a lot of skin prep. I also feel like less is more when it comes to prepping the skin in a lot of cases, because this way my skincare won't weigh the makeup down and I'll get a much longer wear throughout the day. My skin's been on the drier side, so this just feels amazing on the skin. If you have very oily skin, I would take the oil and only apply it to the tops of the cheeks so you can give yourself more of a lit from within glow. To even out my complexion, I'm gonna be going in with the Daydream Cushion SPF Cushion Tint. So this is a foundation that I've been using on an everyday basis because it just lays on the skin so smooth, and I feel like it doesn't cover up who you are, it actually enhances your features. It gives the skin such a healthy, radiant glow because it contains niacinamide, which also helps to lock in moisture and just makes the skin look really plump and youthful. It's actually a serum-infused foundation that contains SPF 50, which I'm kind of obsessed with because I use SPF on the daily, so it's really nice to have a foundation that already has SPF in it so you're protected. Do you guys see how my rosacea is creeping up on the left side of my face? I'm gonna cover it. I would say stippling is probably my favorite way to apply this product. That's just because I have a little bit more redness in my skin. You can definitely go in and smooth out the product this way as well. So today I'm actually gonna be using foundation and concealer to base my eyelid before we get into eyeshadow. It's definitely a perfect product to use during the summer because it just feels so weightless on the skin and it looks effortless. And that's honestly the look that I'm always going for when I'm creating that model off-duty type of look. It needs to look effortless but softly snatched. The So Soft Multi-Faceplay Bronze and Sculpt Stick in the shade Summer. You can definitely use this product directly on the skin and kind of map out where you want to go with it, but I'm going to show you what I do on my celebrity clientele. I start off by applying it to the back of my hand so my body heat just naturally warms up the product. Then I'm going to take my Rèphr Brush in 04 and I'm just going to start working this into the forehead. So I'm going to be starting in the hairline and I'm just going to work in a downward direction and buff this in. It really mimics the look of skin and gives you more of a shaded effect. As you can see, it's not really dark. You can definitely build it up, but I think the goal here is just for this to look like a shadow. Because in a minute, we're gonna set this with the bronzing powder and that's when the magic happens. I also feel like when you put the product on the back of your hand first, you have more control with it and it just kind of softly starts to blend into the skin. So just using the top of my ear as a guide, I'm gonna smile and that is exactly where I'm gonna start shading. I'm just doing a combination of stippling the product into the skin to kind of build it up, just to make sure that there's no gaps or holes. And then I'm going in and just sweeping. And this is just gonna give you the most perfect, seamless blend. And I definitely wanna bring back some color into my skin because I could use it right now. I use a lot of SPF on the daily, so my face and neck are always a lot lighter than the rest of my body. Bringing this under the jaw as well. I also have some on the pads of my fingers and I'm just gonna bring this around the nose. Just to shade a bit here, keeping this really narrow. And then you can also use the brush just to softly kind of work this in as well. And I'm just bringing it right underneath the jawline just to create a bit of a shadow in this area. And then you can use whatever's left over on the brush to bring it softly above the jawline just for a little bit more sculpting. For concealer, I'll be going in with my Armani Luminous Silk Concealer in the shade 5.5. So I'm just gonna start off by putting a dot right underneath the inner part of my eyes, also on the outer, just to lift this area and give the eyes a bit of a snatch. I'm also gonna add a little bit of concealer here where I tend to get red. If you don't, you can skip that step. I'm gonna lift my lips and bring this around the sides of my lips and blend upward. I'm also gonna sculpt the contour a little bit more and put concealer on the sides of my face. And then we're also gonna do a little bit on the forehead. Such a great concealer to use because it is more on the hydrating side. It also doesn't really crease or get cakey under the eyes. When blending out this area right here, you wanna make sure that your strokes are going up to give us that lift. You wanna make sure that you keep your blending really controlled when you're right underneath the contour, because we just wanna make sure that we're lifting the face and not going into the contoured area. Just pressing right underneath the eye area, just keeping it really controlled. I'm also gonna use what's left over and base my eyes with concealer, and we'll powder in just a moment. Being really careful the way I blend this out, making sure I don't bring it up too high and go into the sculpted area. To set the skin, I'm going in with my Givenchy powder in Satin Blanc. So just starting off right underneath the eye area, I'm just gonna start pressing this in and bringing this around the nasal labial folds just to matte this area a bit. A little goes a long way with this loose powder, so you definitely don't need to use a lot when setting the face. And I'm basically just kind of going around those areas, lightly going over the soft contour that we did. And now I'm just gonna take this and set the eyelids and get them prepped. Always powder the brows as well, so whenever you go to fill them in, it sticks really well. So excited for this next step. So I'm gonna show you guys how to lift and snatch the face naturally and really lock in the contour so you have an all-day wear. So I'm gonna be going in with the new Corselette Sculpting Powder Bronzers. This is the shade Silhouette. It's one of my favorites. So whenever I'm doing this supermodel snatch, model off-duty type of look, we always start in the hairline, kind of work in a downward direction, but I love to keep this area nice and bright, and I'll kind of just shade the sides more so. So you wanna have more focus right here. And that's just gonna add some warmth into the face and give the skin a nice contour. Now, if you have a smaller forehead, I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. I would probably just like lightly sweep this product across the skin. It blends like a dream, so you actually can't mess this up. Also for bronzer, I'm using the Rèphr Brush 05. So just using the top of my ear as a guide, that is where we wanna start this contour. You wanna make sure that you use really controlled motions when applying this. I like to go in, as you know, I love to go in and stipple, and then we're gonna slightly kind of sweep the product on. So just a combination of both. I want a really bronzy supermodel look, so I'm gonna softly kind of bring this inward. For a bronzer, it has such a pretty blurring effect. I don't really see that a lot from bronzers that I've used, and this one has a very velvety smooth finish that just kind of blurs imperfections, which makes it really hard to mess up. So same thing on this side. I'm just softly starting to stipple this product in. And you always want to make sure that you blend a little bit higher, so that way you don't ever bring your contour down too low. But if you do have a smaller face shape, sometimes it does look really nice to do a lower contour. In my case, I want to bring it up a lot higher, so that's why we are using the top of the ear as a guide. And just going right underneath the jawline, just to kind of lock in this contour. I'm also going to use this product to bronze up my neck as well, just to add some more warmth into my skin. I'm also just gonna softly bronze my nose as well. So the Corselette bronzers actually come in 4 different shades. I actually started off with the second to darkest shade because I felt like that was perfect for my skin tone. But if your skin is more on the fair to light side, I would definitely recommend the shade Slip. It's such a beautiful shade. It doesn't look orangey on the skin, which I prefer for light, fair skin tones. You want the skin to have a little bit of warmth, but you really want that cool undertone to give you most of the color so it doesn't look too orangey. So I really feel like this shade is the best of both worlds. Basically, I want to just go in with a slightly darker shade to add a little bit more definition here and also deep into the hairline. The brush that I'm using for this is Rèphr 24. You basically just want to go in and stipple away And that's really gonna give the face that lifted snatch that we want for this look. I'm gonna use whatever's left over on the brush and just get right underneath the jawline to create even more definition, more of a shadow. This is how you get that beautiful gradient effect on the forehead for the contour and as well as the cheeks. You always wanna go in with a lighter shade first and then go back in with a darker shade. And this is exactly what I do on like Megan Fox, Kim Kardashian. We always use more than one bronzer shade. I just love how smooth it looks too, and it just glides on the skin. You really can't beat a product that does that. So again, Silhouette would be amazing for anyone that has light to medium skin like me. So I went in with this shade first. And if you have more of a deep dark complexion, I would definitely use the shade Sultry. It's gonna add a lot of rich warmth into the skin. So I'm gonna start off by basing the outer corner of my lid, and I'm also gonna be bringing this into the crease. This is the shade Sensual. It is the same bronzer that I actually used on my face. I want this whole look to be cohesive and monochromatic and really just bring out the best in your features. So this is exactly what this bronzer will do for your eye. It's just adding some natural warmth into the crease, adding a nice contour as you can see here. And I'm using really soft pressure in the crease. And as I get to the brow bone, I'm using even softer pressure. That way we have a really seamless blend that is nice and gradient. And then using a brush that has nothing on it, I'm just kind of blending out the inner corner of the eyes and making sure that the contour in the crease also kind of sculpts the inner part of the nose. So everything is nice and connected. It also gives you more of like a sultry look when you kind of blend the contour in an upward direction into the brows. Using the same bronzer, I'm just taking a more detailed brush and I'm getting right underneath the lower lash line. This product is also very safe to use around the eye area. That literally looks like I used 3 different shades on my eyes, but it's all one. It's really all about the technique and the pressure that you use when applying. I'm using a lot of M Cosmetics today, and that is because I recently fell in love with this brand. And I think a part of the reason why I fell in love with this brand is because it was founded by Michelle Phan, who I've been a huge fan of since the beginning because she was one of the original YouTube beauty pioneers. And everything she touches literally turns to gold, So I have a lot to share with you guys today, and I hope so far that you are loving what we're creating, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts, so definitely comment down below. Going in with the Divine Skies eyeshadow palette in the shade Rodin. I'm gonna be focusing on the darkest shade in this palette and just applying this to the top of my lash line in the outer corner, just to give the eyes a little bit more definition and cheating the eye to give it a lift. Using my finger, I'm just gonna take the shade Muse and pop this on the center of my eyelid just for a really sheer glow. You can definitely build this color up, but I really want it to look soft. Now going in with the shade Masterpiece in my tear ducts. So just popping this right in the inner corner of the eyes. And these eyeshadows are extremely pigmented. You definitely don't need a lot of product. They build so easily. For brows, I'm using the Fine Liner Brow Pencil in shade Brunette. So I'm just gonna start off by brushing my brows up. And then I like to look to see where the sparse areas are. I typically like my brows to lay a little bit lower. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. I'm gonna start filling in from the bottom just to give my brows a straighter shape. I'm also making strokes of hair in an upward direction just to give the brows more of a feather-like look. And this pencil has a really nice tapered edge to it, so it actually is very easy to create those strokes of hair. And then as you get towards the inner part of the brow, you definitely want to make sure you have a soft touch and then just create those vertical strokes of hair so that way the brow looks natural. To lock in these brows, I'm using the Flexibrow Clear Brow Gel by M Cosmetics. This is my favorite part of doing my brows, is locking it in with a clear brow gel, because I just feel like this is what's going to give you like that really natural bushy look. And it also kind of takes away some of the product, but in the best way. For eyeliner, I'm gonna be going in with the Illustrative Eyeliner Brush Tip in Black. So starting from the outer corner of my eyes, that's exactly where I want all the definition to be, is only on the outer corner. So I'm gonna create a straight line first, going upward. You can create this as high or as straight out as you want, just depending on the way you want this to go. And then using a really steady hand, I'm just gonna slowly start to bring the eyeliner inward towards the inner part of my eye. Since the eyeliner has more of a brush tip applicator, it does make this process really easy. I personally love a brush tip application. This eyeliner is also jet black. It's extremely rich, and that's usually what I want from a black eyeliner because we only want to snatch the outer corner of the eye just to lift the eyes up. To warm up the cheeks, I'm using the Heaven's Glow blush by M Cosmetics in shade Rococo. I'm just softly sweeping this onto the apples of my cheeks. And then I'm just gonna use whatever's left over and softly diffuse this into the temples. And that just blended so seamlessly on the cheeks, and I love that it has a little bit of a glow to it as well. And I'm also gonna take what's left over and use it on the bridge of my nose. Now taking the M Cosmetics Sunscape Highlighter in the shade Clarity. I'm actually gonna apply this product with my fingertips because it just glides on the skin. You can definitely use a brush, but I honestly love the way that it looks just with the pads of my fingers. And then I'm also gonna take it down the bridge of the nose. And then for mascara, I'm using the M Cosmetics Pick Me Up Tubing Mascara. So this wand basically grabs onto every single hair and it really helps to lift the lashes up. It's always hard for me to get into the inner corner with other mascara wands, but with the shape of this one, it makes it really easy. I'm also gonna do my lower lashes as well. And I mean, look at the difference. It already looks so incredible. I love how much this really lengthens and just gives so much extra volume to my lashes. So I'm just gonna do a little bit to the lower lashes and then brush through so they look nice and soft. To contour my lips, I'm gonna be going in with my M Cosmetics Soft Blur Velvet Lip Liner in shade Mink. This is a perfect lip liner when it comes to contouring your lips. I really like that it has a touch of warmth to it. I think it complements the skin really well. I'm just starting off by lightly shading my lips with this product. So that way when we go in with the lipstick, we have a nice base layer down. So that way the lipstick lasts a lot longer. It's also really nice that you never have to sharpen this lip liner. I love when lip liners are retractable. To top off this lip, I'm using my Lip Cushion Tinted Lip Luminizer in shade Venetian Rose by M Cosmetics. To me, a rosy nudie pink undertone is like the sexiest shade you can put on your lips. So I'm really excited to use this one today. It definitely has more of a glossy sheen to it. It's also extremely hydrating on the lips and has a nice cushion velvety feel. So that completes today's makeup look. Thank you guys so much for watching and for hanging out with me today. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought of this makeup look and what your favorite product was. And if you found this video helpful, please make sure to like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time. So now I'm gonna go in and use the shade Sensual on my eyes just to...
Hola amigos, ¿cómo está?
Okay. Any situation is far less important than your interpretation of it. Anything in life is simply a product of the meaning we give it.